Damn, that's some big Dreamcast energy. Rollerdrome won a BAFTA award for being the best British game of 2022, but I would go one further. I think that Rollerdrome was just straight up the best game of 2022. And as noted, huge Dreamcast energy. Not in the way you might think though. It's tempting to say, okay, this is a cel-shaded roller skating game, so it's Jet Set Radio. But Rollerdrome is actually nothing like that. It's just as loud and fun and colourful as Jet Set, but it actually has a totally different gameplay style and vibe. For one thing, it has a very heavy focus on gunplay, getting cool kills and chaining them together for big combos, stuff like that. And for that reason, it probably has more in common with Unreal Tournament or Quake 3. Or even those short-lived third-person arena shooters like Outrigger, Heavy Metal, Spawning the Demon Hands, The Grid, you know the stuff. But all this comparison isn't getting us anywhere because Rollerdrome really isn't like anything else. So let's quickly blast through this narrative then. We be Kara Hassan. She's a silent pro-tag, but we know that she's an undisputed badass because she has an image somewhere between Mad Max and Canada from Akira. All we really know about her is that she is in massive debt and has entered into this Bloodsport tournament to try and win some money and clear said debts. The whole tournament's run by a big evil corporation who consistently try and screw her over and make her give up. Standard 80s sci-fi action stuff, a la Running Man, etc. In fact, it is loosely based on a sci-fi movie called Rollerball. I haven't seen it, looks kinda dope though. So it's a dystopian story certainly, but it's also vibrant and energetic and it doesn't get caught up too much in its own narrative, which I like a lot. In fact, now is a good time to talk about how that narrative is handled because I wish more games had this approach. Each leg of the tournament forms a chapter of the game, so you can jump in and replay any match at any time you like, which is something I've always praised as a quality of life thing that I respect in games. But even more than that, at the start of each chapter it gives you the option of whether or not you want to play the narrative section. So you can opt out entirely if you want and just play this like an arcade run and gun with no story. But if you do decide to dive in on that story, and I think you should, then you'll see that these sections take place in a first-person exploration sort of a mode where you walk around backstage, opening lockers and drawers, watching slideshows, listening to conversations, examining items, all that stuff. These sections really are the chill zone, and there's a good amount of information to take in. Some of it is vital to the story, and a lot of it is just cute touches and fun world building, which I'm always going to be down for. But primarily, this game is all about scooting and shooting, so let's take a look at that. As soon as you skate in for your first match, and that big title card pops up over the banging synthwave soundtrack, you know what's up. Shout out to Electric Dragon on the soundtrack by the way. Not only does it fit the tone, but it legit feels like it could have been an 80s movie score. So the aim of the game here is to kill all sons of bitches as quickly as possible whilst not getting killed yourself and trying to rack up a big score. Each stage has 10 or so different objectives to hit, a little bit like the early Tony Hawk games. So pull this kind of grind on this rail, hit this trick across this gap, but then we also have stuff like kill the sniper with a slug shot from the shotgun and empty a full handgun clip into the heavy gunner before touching the floor. You get a nice selection of weapons too, and in yet another cool mechanical touch, your ammo refills based purely on your skill. No pickups to worry about at all, just like, yo bro, you see that SIG 900 I just hit? Yeah bro, here's 3 shotgun shells. And the inclusion of bullet time helps you to look like a pro skating badass all whilst raining hell upon these mooks. Aesthetically, the levels all look extremely slick too. Oftentimes these days, games strive to just be as bleak as possible. And whilst this game does have some of that grim dystopian vibe, it's offset with nice pops of neon colour, big spacious malls, desert lab complexes, opulent alpine retreats and so on, which all make it a lot more palatable. These are spaces that I actually want to be in, places where I can enjoy the vibe. But I don't have too much more to say on it that wouldn't be a spoiler really. I am coming out of the gate a little late to say this was my game of the year for 2022, but it definitely was. And pretty soon I'm going to be reviewing my game of the year for 2021, so go figure. But for now friends, please roll over those buttons if you had a good time, and I shall see you in the next one.